In this video, we'll break down the mistakes that keep beginners stuck, we'll discover new shots and positioning details that instantly improve control, and we'll talk about modern pickleball principles that apply from beginner all the way to advanced levels. The first and most common mistake is improper weight balance. In pickleball, the ball should always be played out in front, yet many beginners sit back on their heels, especially at the kitchen line. The paddle stays close to the body, it feels stable, but it is deceptive stability. When weight is on the heels and a hard ball arrives, the body naturally leans backward, the toes lift, the paddle face opens, the ball pops up. This is exactly why players struggle against hard hitters. Leaning back turns defensive exchanges into easy putaways for aggressive opponents. The correction is simple but powerful. At the kitchen line, weight must be forward on the balls of the feet. The heels should be slightly off the ground, just enough that a piece of paper could slide underneath. From that position, the body leans into the ball. When weight moves forward, the paddle face naturally angles down. Even without a large swing, the ball stays low and controlled. The difference is immediate. Lean back, and the ball rises. Lean forward, and the ball stays down. This principle applies everywhere on the court. From the baseline, falling backward sends the ball upward. Driving forward into contact keeps the paddle face flat and the ball low. On returns, drives and drops, contacting the ball out in front with forward weight ensures clean, penetrating shots. Whenever weight drifts backward, trouble follows. Whenever weight moves forward, control increases. After serving, many players drift inside the court and stay there. The serve naturally carries momentum forward. Without thinking, players end up inside the baseline. If the opponent hits a deep return, the ball lands near their feet. The result is a rushed third shot with weight falling backward, leading again to a popped-up ball. Even a couple of extra seconds in pickleball dramatically improve shot quality. Positioning determines decision-making time. The correction is serving and immediately stepping back behind the baseline. After the serve and pivot, the forward foot pushes back. This creates space. With that extra room, deep returns can be contacted out in front instead of at the feet. Now the third shot can be struck with forward weight and a flat paddle face. The ball stays low instead of floating. Without stepping back, players get jammed. With space behind the baseline, they regain control. Wrist control is one of the most misunderstood elements in pickleball. Many intermediate and beginner players flick their wrist through contact, especially on third shot drives and drops. This flicking motion usually compensates for poor positioning. If the ball is slightly out of reach, the wrist snaps to force it over the net. The result is loss of control. On drives, the correct technique begins with setting the wrist slightly back. As the shoulder swings through, contact happens out in front. The wrist remains stable through contact and only releases at the very end of the follow-through. Breaking the wrist at contact accelerates the paddle too quickly. The ball flies unpredictably. On drops, stability becomes even more important. The wrist remains set throughout the entire stroke. The swing comes from the shoulder, brushing upward gently without any flick. This keeps the ball soft and controlled into the kitchen. The same applies to dinks. Whether forehand or backhand, the wrist is set but not moving. The shoulder guides the stroke. Flicking introduces instability and lifts the ball. Advanced players may appear to use wrist lag, but the snap occurs after contact, not through it. The key distinction is that the wrist never closes over the ball at the moment of impact. The transition zone, the area between the baseline and the kitchen, is one of the most difficult places to play. A common mistake is getting caught within roughly 7 feet of the baseline. This area creates two major problems. First, judging out balls becomes difficult. Balls taken out of the air from this depth are often landing out, yet players feel tempted to hit them. Second, if the ball does bounce in, it often lands at the feet. Shots at the feet are among the hardest to handle. The solution is clarity of positioning. Players should either stay back near the baseline or move decisively forward past that halfway mark toward the kitchen. Getting stuck in between creates unnecessary pressure. On returns, this means starting far enough behind the baseline to generate forward momentum. After contact, movement should continue straight toward the kitchen line. Returning too close to the baseline eliminates momentum and traps the player in that uncomfortable zone. Once at the kitchen, small adjustments can be intentional. If hard speed-ups feel overwhelming, stepping back a few feet provides extra reaction time. This is especially useful at beginner and intermediate levels. It discourages opponents when attacks are suddenly handled cleanly. A strong ready position is non-negotiable. The ready position means paddle up and out in front, prepared equally for forehand or backhand. Favoring one side leaves the other exposed. However, simply holding the paddle in the middle is not enough. If the paddle is too close to the body, weight shifts backward. If the paddle is below net height, reaction time decreases. The critical detail is elbow placement. The elbow must be tucked inward toward the center of the body. When pulling the paddle back, it should lightly contact the body rather than swing freely in space. This compact position allows coverage of the entire torso with minimal movement. From this setup, a forehand requires only a small opening and punch. A backhand requires a simple close and punch. Both shots remain compact. When the elbow flares outward, problems multiply. Forehand counters require larger motion. Players turn and contact behind their body. Time, balance, and power are lost. The tucked elbow also protects against the chicken wing, especially on the right shoulder. With a flared elbow, defending that shoulder becomes weak and awkward. With a tucked elbow, the paddle face can open directly in front of the shoulder for a strong, compact counter. A disciplined, ready position keeps weight forward, swings short, and reactions sharp. Improvement in pickleball does not begin with complex strategies. It begins with mastering fundamentals that remove errors. Refine these 5 areas, and competitive improvement becomes not just possible, but inevitable.